everyone, it's your girl Mandy here, and I'm joined by Chris Miner.
Good afternoon, everyone.
He is the owner of Perfect Fit LLC. He is also a certified
Personal trainer, nutrition specialist.
Okay, and I'm also joined by my sister. Morning. She's going to be demoing all of the exercises that we're going to discuss today. Okay, so my first question is, how often in terms of days and times should people work out in preparation for Carnival?
So, in an ideal world, some people should work out 3 to 5 days per week, no less than 45 minutes to maybe an hour per session, working out in preparation for Carnival.
Okay.
But what you want to do is think more about, what schedule you can be the most consistent under, right?
Okay.
So if 3 to 5 days per week isn't realistic, and 3 is, then what you do is you try to build in all that you can and increase the duration from there. So what was, 45 minutes to an hour becomes an hour and a half each bout. But consistency is key. Just making sure that you're regularly in there. Regularly in there, getting your work in and following your plan.
Okay.
That's going to be your road to success and prepare for Carnival.
If I'm working out for 45 minutes, what ratio of that 45 minutes should be dedicated to cardio and then resistance training?
So if you're forced into a 45-minute window, what you want to do is kind of adopt a, especially if your goal is weight loss, you want to adopt a 2-to-1 ratio. So you would do maybe a half hour of your cardio, and you can bookend that and then do a 15-minute intense resistance interval in between.
Okay.
Right? And that way you'd be focusing more on your goal. And if you're trying to put on muscle mass or the like, then you would flip that. So
Okay.
that would be the best way to approach that.
So Carnival is an event that people train for to look good, right?
Right.
So how far in advance should somebody start training for Carnival?
Okay, again, ideal answer is you stay in shape, especially if you're a carnivalist or a carnivalista and you chase carnivals all over the world.
Right.
You should stay in shape,
Right.
because you know that next carnival is coming around.
Exactly.
Now, so let's shove all that aside to the real world.
Okay.
3 months is a good jump start to kind of
Okay.
get you ready.
Okay.
If you jump in there with 2 weeks left to go, that's a futile effort.
Right.
You're really just gonna burn yourself out and make yourself more tired on the road. But
Okay.
you want to try to sustain a good set program for about 3 months rather,
3
out
months.
from your set carnival date, and consider the duration of your carnival, how long you're going to be gone. If you know it that well, what your route is, like if you're going to be cranking hills or if you're just going to be on a flat plane for a long time, Trinidad. So just kind of take all of that into account. But
Okay.
the best thing to do is to stay on top of your fitness, just stay in touch with it.
You hear that,
3
people?
times a week. Just
You
don't
should be
fall off the wagon.
consistently working out. No last minute stuff, okay?
For overall health too, that's the thing. More than just carnival.
And so for Trinidad, that means November, okay? November is when you need to really, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing now,
Buckle down.
Yeah, buckle down by November. Other than aesthetics, what are some reasons people should be working out?
So a key thing is when you get on the road, it's vigorous activity. And I've seen it time and time again. People on the road and they catch a jump up, they catch 2 or 3 winds, and then they sitting on a curb because they're not in good physical shape.
Right.
So it compromises your experience. You spent all this money on fetch, you spent all this money on costumes, all this money on a personal trainer, and you haven't been doing your work. It literally compromises your experience. The other thing is, for those of us a little longer in the tooth, it's injury prevention.
Okay.
So you want your body to be used to the movements that you're going to do. Back here at home, you might go to a fet like once every couple of weeks, and that's not enough to build you up for what you're going to experience on the road.
Right.
All right. So you want to take that into consideration. Those are 2 really tangible reasons that you should stay in good shape for Carnival.
Sorry, I just enjoy life. I'm so sorry.
No, I'd rather be around people like you. Trust me.
Yeah, what was that? What is that called? Chris and Colleen are going to demo what types of exercises are best to burn the most amount of calories.
We're going to start off the segment with an exercise to kind of warm up the entire body. It's going to activate the core, the shoulders, the lower back, quads, glutes, hams, everything. And it's a good means to warm up. Also taxes your balance and your core stability. So what I'm going to do is have Colleen set up in a forced spread. So she's going to be basically down on both hands and both feet, trying to keep her hips neutral and square. All right. Next phases of the movements are going to be a tap on each shoulder and then a draw of each knee to the hand. All right. Colleen, you ready?
Yep.
And what's important is that you make sure you keep your hips quiet. All right. Go for it. Warmed up. the next exercise that we're going to do is going to be something dynamic, something you might actually do in effect. It's going to involve jumping and decelerating, landing safely, and then going back into the next jump. So now Colleen and I are going to get into some jump squats, all right? So what we're going to do is, we're going to start from the squat position, go down, explode up, and land softly. Land as quietly as you can, okay? So I'm going to have Colleen do 10 of those, right? And you'll notice how when she lands, she's going to land softly, decelerate through her hips, and sit back into a static position, and then explode into the next rep. So with that, that Colleen is going to demonstrate for me involves balance, involves lower body strength, core strength, and also helps you firm up the bumper, right? Back half, the posterior. So I'm going to have Colleen do a modified squat. That's not what it is. I'm going to have Colleen do, I don't even know what this exercise is called. I just make people do it. I'm going to have Colleen do a lunge with a glute extension at the back end up, okay? So she's going to set up in a split squat set. Right. She's going to descend to 90-90, come out of the lunge, and carry that back leg with her. And then descend back down, come up, carry that back leg with her, squeezing your glutes, comes up. One more time, back leg with her, and that's it. All right. You want to do that on both sides. Do it for about 12 reps per side. Hold it up top for about a 1-2 count. All right. So the next exercise we're going to introduce is going to be just a simple side plank to hip raise, right? And this one is great for bringing out the obliques and working the core as a whole. And you know when ladies get their mask costumes on, showing them midriff, and they don't have a monokini, that's the right thing, monokini.
Yep, you said it right.
Yeah, when that's all out, you want everything to show. And so with that, that's where the ab work comes in. So right now, we're going to do a side hip raise, all right? You get about 5 good clean reps. Notice that her body's in line, right? She's going to actively drive her elbow into the ground and push the hip away from that, all right? Colleen, let's get 5 reps. Good. And she's getting a good pause up top too, and then slowly descending. 4, and 5. Nice. And so this exercise in particular, you want to complete for anywhere from 15 to 20 reps per side. Get that good 1-2 count up top, and then move on to the next exercise. Next exercise that Colleen is going to perform for you today is going to be a jump split lunge, right? And this one's great for getting your heart rate accelerated. It's good for a high intensity interval circuit. It's great for a high intensity interval circuit to get your heart rate up, kind of get everything flowing, and it's a great way to burn some calories. So I'm going to have Colleen set up now. This will be a jump split lunge. All right, we'll get about 10 of them maybe. Go.
1, 2.
2. Good. 3. Nice soft land. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. There we go.
So the next question I have is, should people do weights or cardio first?
Okay, so physiologically, the best thing for you to do is to come into the gym. If you're going to do weights and cardio on the same day, come into the gym, get a quick warm up, 5 to 7 minutes at best, and then get into your cardio, your weight circuit or your weight interval or whatever you're going to do as far as your resistance training immediately after that.
Okay.
The reason being is because when you do cardio, all your body needs is oxygen, right, to process and give you energy to carry on. But when you do resistance training, those are short bursts of activity that uses glucose. And so with that, you want to try to get your resistance training in while that glucose base is fresh. Because if you do your cardio on the front end and you try to lift on the back end, all that glucose will be gone. Your body will readily use that for cardio instead. So to answer the question, a little warm up, weights first, cardio last.
So should people use free weights or circuit weight training when they're for weightlifting purposes?
Both.
Okay.
And the reason for that is when you're using free weights, you need to use more stabilizing muscles. You're taxing more muscle overall. You know, you're stimulating your central nervous system. All those things come into play. But if you want to lift at a rapid rate, say you're going through a circuit, say you might be, you know, fatigued at the back end of a set, well, it's a lot safer to use the machine because it's guided. You're less likely to drop something on yourself.
Okay.
And the other end is you can move from spot to spot and just really go out until failure without someone having to spot you or help you out. So both have a benefit.
Are there any like particular types of group fitness that you recommend for people who are not really into cardio, like on the elliptical or whatever? And
Well, as it pertains to carnival, obviously like Zumba,
Okay.
or Kazache,
or Carrot Fit. Shout out to the
definitely
Key.
Carrot Fit.
Okay.
Shout out to Carrot Fit. You know, any of the dance classes translate nicely into what your goals are going to be.
Okay.
Other classes that are good for flexibility, like yoga. You could do a body flow fusion with Pilates. You know, I even recommend bar because bar conditions a lot of your smaller stabilizing muscles that will enable you to have a little bit more endurance on the road and to prevent injury.
Okay. What should people eat pre-workout and post-workout?
Pre-workout, a good idea is to get a complex carbohydrate, something like you know, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, maybe with nuts, something that breaks down slowly and gives you energy over an extended period of time, so that way you can get through your entire workout. And a crunch, an apple would work because it's pretty even on the glycemic scale. You know, the sugar gets dispensed pretty evenly. Bananas are a little spiky, but you can throw them into a smoothie, and those are good as well.
Okay.
On the back end,
Wait, but can I do something like a bar?
you can do a bar.
Okay.
But I'll say this: it's the best thing that you can do is eat whole foods, eat something that your body can readily recognize every component of. And with bars, you know, there may be sugar, alcohols, and things that make them, you know, give them more shelf life that your body might not recognize.
Okay.
And you know, can lead to gastric distress and other things. So when you can get food and you have time to make good whole food, go with that.
So we should be food prepping in advance, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, try to do that in advance, so at least have those things on hand in the house.
Okay.
So you're not forced to like buy something from the gym or stop by 7-Eleven to get a bar or something like that.
Or Smoothie King, which is my guilty pleasure.
Say Smoothie King.
I'm a Smoothie King every other day.
Chew your calories.
Shout out to
Chew your calories. True story. She's like, get
Okay, what about post-workout?
Post-workout, you want to go with more of a protein tilt, and definitely essential fat. So if there are avocados involved, nuts are good. You know, any of your meat proteins, and if you're vegan, you can go with some of your legumes. You know, tofu, things like that. But you definitely want protein on the back end to help repair the muscles that you've broken down and just to replenish your body as a whole. Also, hydration is oft left out. You want to make sure that you're just taking in, you know, water throughout your day consistently. Okay, a good measure is half of your body weight in ounces of water. All right, so take your body weight, split that in two, and that's how many ounces of water you should drink at a baseline level throughout your day.
So your body weight
Divided by 2
in ounces
of water.
Okay, so if you weigh 160 pounds, that would be 80 ounces of water.
Well, 80 ounces of water over the course of your day.
Over the course of a day.
Baseline.
So how many, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So a cup is like 8 ounces?
Yep.
Okay, so.
But no one drinks 8 ounces of water at one time. People tend to drink like 20 at a time. So it's really easier than you think.
Okay,
If you have an Nalgene bottle, like that's 2.5.
okay.
So
So what about protein shakes?
protein shakes, they're good. Again, in a crunch, something's better than nothing in that regard. But again, you know, given the choice, you want to try to have all your ducks in a row and have your meal prep done, so that way you can get whole food. Your body just responds better to it.
Okay.
You actually burn calories when your body's breaking down solid food. So that's something to think about.
Okay.
And again, protein shakes don't agree with everyone. You know, so but again, in a crunch, if you have to have it, then get it. But you know, try to go for your whole food.
Okay. So what types of diets do you recommend for people that want to lose weight for Carnival?
So if you want to lose weight or reduce your body fat, the best things you can do is cut down on the amount of processed carbohydrates that you have in starches, things where your body breaks them down quickly and converts them into glucose. So
That means stop drinking, y'all.
yeah, alcohol is a thing. Alcohol intake does nothing for you nutritionally. So we as West Indians cringe at that idea, but if you can cut down your drinking throughout the week and maybe pick a spot on the weekend, then that would help out. Just try to diminish how much you have leading up to Carnival. That's a huge opportunity as far as losing body weight and body fat before the next Carnival.
I have a question along the lines of alcohol. Are there any types of alcohol that are optimal, like in terms of low calorie, low carb?
Optimal, no. If you can have a whiskey neat, then that has less calories per gram. But again, these calories do nothing for you. Okay, they have no health benefit other than to relieve some stress. But you know, as far as physiologically, they don't do anything for you.
Okay.
Vodka water, vodka tonic is another option. Just try not to do the really sweet stuff because that's when the calories start to load in.
Okay.
So in regards to drinking, that is an aside. Johnny Walker's not a food group as much as I like for it to be. It's not. Okay, so.
Okay.
But so one of the best things you can do is reduce sugars overall. So if you're drinking soda, you shouldn't do that at all, ever. If you're having your coffee deluxe, like you're putting everything in your coffee, try to go with a black coffee if you can help it. You can use other sweeteners, other flavor sources like cinnamon. A little bit of cinnamon in your coffee helps to cut back on the amount of sugar that you're actually putting in. You know, the lattes and that, just try to minimize how much you're taking those in. Another opportunity is doing more veggies as opposed to fruit. Because fructose is a denser sugar source, so if you go with the veggies, it takes longer for that to break down, and there's less per gram, right? So, and also upping your lean protein intake, which would be, you know, chicken, turkey in particular is a little bit better than chicken, and a lot of your cold water fishes, white flaky fish, and salmon is still a good source too because it has a lot of essential fats in it. So just kind of going with more of the protein, less of the carbohydrate tilt.
Okay.
That helps you lose.
All right. So what about if you want to gain weight?
If you want to put on a little bit more weight, that's a little more difficult to do in a short period of time.
Okay.
Right? So that's going to be comprised of like programming and your resistance training, you know, larger lifts. But then in addition to that, just really boning up on the lean protein, and you know, just making sure that you're getting, say about a half of a gram of protein per ounce of body weight is a good way to do it. Okay, that's a good calculation to kind of figure out how much you want to take in. But again, if you want to put on weight, that has to be something that's ongoing. You have to be doing it over time. You're not going to do it in 3 months before Carnival.
Okay, so that's not going to work for some of you people that have struggled with gaining weight. And I know some folks like that. Okay, so is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want our viewers to know about getting fit and stuff like that?
Just in general, if Carnival is your thing, if you chase carnivals, and if it's your first Carnival, just use this moving forward. Just stay in shape.
Stay in shape, y'all.
Yeah, because if you like carnivals, you probably like fets. You want to enjoy your fets in between. But biggest thing is you want to go to carnivals until you're old and gray, right?
Right.
You know, so this leads into a healthy lifestyle. So just do it all of the time. The benefits expand way beyond Carnival, and being fit for Carnival becomes a little bit of an afterthought. You're just really tweaking at that point when you lead a healthy lifestyle. So that's the best point that I can do in summation for everything we've done here today. So trying to stay healthy overall.
Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Miner. He is the owner of Perfect Fit
LLC.
And if you are in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area and you want some help getting fit, he's definitely the man to help you do that. And his information will be in the description box down below.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
You're welcome.
Right. Fit for Carnival, baby.
I'll see y'all in Trinidad.
That's all you got? Okay, you guys, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that red button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Alright. Listen, when you're vegan, all the animals come to you because they know you're non-animal.
Like a Beastmaster.
Yes!
Alright, okay. Please edit that out. You should do outtakes though. That would be
Yeah.
You really should.